What's going on, everybody? I think we're live. It's good to see everybody. I'm just waiting to make sure everything's up and running here before we get started. There's a bit of a delay, probably about 20 seconds between what I'm broadcasting and what you guys are seeing. So it gives me a little bit of a buffer in case there are some glitches in the internet so we don't have any slowdowns or things like that. How is it going? It's 3 in the Philippines, 3 a.m. Gab Plays, what are you doing awake? Rick says, you got a Raid Shadow at Legends ad, and I didn't even get paid for that. I mean, I kind of do, indirectly, but they didn't sponsor me or anything. Yeah, I have glasses. It's the only way I can see the memes unless I'm wearing my contacts, and I didn't feel like putting my contacts in today. But I do have the light off. Normally I have a light on me so that the lighting's more even when I'm recording, but I don't have that on. That way there's less of a glare going on. But yeah, I wear glasses. I am pretty much blind without them. The 12th Doctor. Yes, it is the 12th Doctor. You're right. Hey, clogging through history. Actually, that... Never mind. I can't say anything. We've got April Fool's Day coming up in a few days here in America. That just gave me a really interesting idea, that's all. Hey, Cobra Snaps. Thank you. Awesome. I appreciate that. So is 4 a lot? Depends on the context. Dollars? No. Meters gained in World War I? Yes. So it's good to see everybody. Welcome. Thank you in advance to everyone who subscribes because we are getting ever so close to 50,000 subscribers. Probably in the next couple of days. Let me check the total where we're at right now. I'm in the process of uploading a reaction video I just recorded. We are at 48,683 right now. So we're getting close. We're only about 1,300 subscribers away from 50,000. So that's awesome. 8 p.m. in Germany. Excellent. Great. Glad to have you here. And Poland too. Natalia, how's it going? John Nickel, I appreciate that. And Nickel is my great-great-grandmother's maiden name. They were from Kentucky, my Nichols. 5 a.m. in Brisbane, Australia. My goodness. In India, boy, we are all over the place today. I love it. Ali, how's it going in England? Hey, speaking of England, before we dive into these, just want to let you know that assuming your reopening plan in the UK goes as it's going, as it should, I'm going to be in the UK at the end of June. That's the plan. June 29th, I will land in London, assuming that travel is reopened and these things are allowed. Obviously, that's a lot of ifs because the world, we have no idea what's going to happen in the world between now and then, but that's the plan. So we'll see. So hello and thank you to everybody who has joined. I want to let you know, too, before we get into some memes, that there will be more frequent streams on this channel. Some of them will be during the week, so I know that may not work as well for our friends around the world because, I try to make these streams at a time when the most amount of people can see them, but recognizing we have subscribers all over the world, it's just really going to kind of depend on what works for me and what I can make work. So, but I am going to try to stream at least a few more times a week. On average, doing some more original content, some things I'm working on there, but continuing the reactions too. In fact, as soon as this stream is over, I have a reaction that'll be going live to Alternate History Hub's What If Germany Won World War I. So be watching for that. All right, let's dive in, and I'll try to keep up with your chats the best I can. Let's go ahead and see what's next in our list of memes here. So it looks like Henry VIII looking at Anne Boleyn, and Catherine of Aragon looking at him. Now we have Anne Boleyn looking while he looks at Jane Seymour. And then we have, let's see, I guess Jane Seymour looking while he's looking at Anne of Cleves. That didn't really happen because Jane Seymour died before he even knew about Anne of Cleves. Then Anne of Cleves looking while she divorced him before Catherine Howard came along. And then Catherine Howard and Catherine Parr. Of course, she was dead by the time Catherine Parr came along. But that's neither here nor there. I like anything with a good Henry VIII meme, so that's cool. Catching up with the chat here. Soviet Russia high from Germany. I'm confused by that. Yeah, Rick says, I was just noticing the number of notifications on the Entente chat. Yeah, 151. That is insanity. When you transform the water to wine because the party was boring, but in the morning you just don't want to see the consequences. We got a Jesus meme. I usually try to shy away from talk of religion on the channel, but I'll allow it. I'll allow it. Hey, Eliezer, I'm glad you were able to join us. Noah, I haven't watched that yet, but it keeps getting recommended to me on Netflix. So I do want to check out that samurai show. I don't know if anybody else has watched it. The Robert Baratheon of real life. Nice. Gabriel, hello in America's hat, Canada. Australians, the Anzac, which is Australia and New Zealand Army Corps, during the Gallipoli landings in 1915. Drake, we're at the wrong beach. Wow. Another Germany, hello. In Montenegro, very cool. Oh, you love Russia, but you live in Germany. Gotcha. I just declared war on Germany. Time for you to fight. Yes, dear. It's all the Commonwealth nations, Canada, Australia, etc. Nice. Oh, we got a Sherman meme. We always get the Sherman memes. And he's making the Confederacy disappear like Thanos. I like it. I appreciate that one. Let's see if my Mountain Dew shows up on the green screen. It probably won't. It probably looks like I'm drinking nothing. The Republic of Panama. Very cool. I've been to Costa Rica and Honduras, but not Panama. Chip, actually, I was just talking about that. My very first reaction ever on this channel was an alternate history hub video about what if the South won the Civil War. And when this stream is over, my next one from them is going live. It's what if Germany won World War I. So, what is the most historically inaccurate movie you've ever seen? Wow. I mean, that's a low bar there. There's a lot of really historically inaccurate movies. Obviously, Braveheart comes to mind as being pretty off base. I can't really think of any other ones right off the top of my head that are really like obscenely inaccurate. Hello from Peru, very cool. A Czech from Poland, very cool. Why do I have to stream when it's midnight in India? Sorry, I actually wanted to stream earlier today, but we were recording our multiplayer Hearts of Iron 4 on my gaming channel from 9 to 11 this morning, which was 6 hours ago that started. And then our gas was out in our house, so we had no hot water, no heat, and I couldn't cook anything on the stove. So I had to deal with that. I had to get the gas company out here to fix that before I could stream. So that's why we're starting a little bit later than I wanted to. Hey, Connor, how's it going? Yeah, Michael, we'll definitely get into some Drachenfell stuff. He's got some great stuff on naval history. Who's better, Sherman or Grant? I would say Grant. But I think they complemented each other well. Oh, Fury. Fury, good choice, guys. Fury, definitely a very historically inaccurate movie. I forgot about that one. I mean, it's got some realistic stuff in it. But I don't know. The Man of the High Castle was excellent. I love that kind of stuff. I thought it was very good. Okay. Hot air rises. Obtain a box. Tie sack to box. Stand in the box. Fill the sack with air. Escape the Prussian siege of Paris. Yes. Very cool. That was a legit thing that happened. We were actually just talking about that the other day in the reaction about Otto von Bismarck. So that's cool. 1918, the war so terrifying, I don't want to go back there. 2019, 32 minutes of soothing, relaxing, meditating World War I sounds. What? Hey, speaking of which, that looks like it's a scene from They Shall Not Grow Old, which is that colorized film that was done by, I think it was done by Peter Jackson, who made Lord of the Rings. It's very, very good. I highly recommend it. I do not know much about Lithuanian history, unfortunately. Hey, please hit that like button, guys. We've got 245 people in here and 52 likes. So if you hit like, I would appreciate that. It's HGG and HGG only. That's History Guy Gaming. All you VTH guys are just weird. Well, unfortunately, VTH is now the larger of the two channels. Abdullah in the UAE. Very cool. Once upon a time, a couple of years ago, my sister actually, her hospital where she works treated the Emir of Dubai. He was a patient there, so very cool. Just catching up. Most overrated president, Franklin Roosevelt. Most underrated, Let me think about that one for a second. Most underrated president. Whew. Wow, let me think about that. I'm sure some of you guys will have some ideas on this one. Of some of your own suggestions. Underrated president. Wow. I'm not sure there's been an underrated president off the top of my head. Where were my ancestors born? Primarily in the UK. Primarily Ireland, the UK. So Ireland, Northern Ireland, Scotland, Wales, and England. With just a smidge of sub-Saharan African. Nigeria, primarily. I had a great-great-great-grandmother who was born into slavery, who was black. Born into slavery in the South in Kentucky. A little bit of Swedish and about a quarter German. Calvin Coolidge is a good choice. General Fred, I'll go with that. I don't think Teddy Roosevelt's underrated, though. I think he's rated pretty highly already. Worst president, Buchanan. I think Garfield was actually the first thing that came to mind for me. But he was president for such a short time, it's hard to say. I think he would have been a great president had he lived. What's the most underrated unit of the Civil War? I'd have to think about that one a little bit. All right, let's move on to some more memes. Japan bombs Pearl Harbor. America. Oh, it's an Angry Birds meme. I like that. James Madison solid. Warning about Sabaton thingy. I don't know what that means. When you said you were not attacking, the front line said otherwise. That was actually from our that's from our game today. Mr. Beep said he was not attacking, but then he tried to attack Germany and it did not go well. So that's pretty funny. Hello, Serbia. And then there's Germany and the Ottoman Empire. Actually, Nazi Germany. I don't knowings. We will never of knowings. Why is Serbia reacting? I don't know what that even is supposed to mean. The sea, Bosnia, Croatia. Has this been done before? Because Croatia is built like all along the coast. Somebody said there's like a mile or two there for Bosnia of coast. Andrew Johnson is brutally horrible as a president. I think, yeah, you know what? You can make a really strong argument that Andrew Johnson was the worst president we've ever had. I don't know if there's anybody who did more damage to the country than Andrew Johnson as president. I won't get into modern politics. I intentionally avoid such things on the channel. 5 things to do if you get rejected from art school. I don't like where this is going. So Hitler, obviously, that's a reference to. Yeah, Jack. Andrew Johnson was an absolute train wreck. Devastating to the newly freed slaves and to their future, and probably set them back 100 years or more with his decisions. Yeah, we'll probably get to some more what ifs, like what if the Axis won World War II. So this is from Fury, it looks like. When it's D-Day +3 and you only lose 4 tanks and 2 platoons taking the hedgerows. Wow. Yeah. I don't get the Lebensraum. Just turn the sea into land. Yeah, Woodrow Wilson, pretty awful. I agree. No, I think Nixon was actually a way better president than people give him credit for. The main issue there was his corruption with the bad stuff that happened. Give everybody the perception that the rest of his presidency was bad. It really wasn't. He did some great things, especially in foreign policy. Let's see. Countries that have been nuked, Japan and other. Oh, man. Wow, that's harsh. Shalom in Israel. Very cool. Isn't it the Sabbath in Israel? Should you even be on a stream right now? Is that a thing? I mean, is that okay? Is that allowed? I don't know. Did the USA teach stuff about Europe? Yeah, we do definitely talk about Europe, mostly where it connects to American history, but yeah. English mostly for me. I can speak some French, very little French, and very little German, but that's really about it. Tiny bit of Spanish. My favorite conspiracy theory, Hitler made it to Argentina alive. I put that one at 60-40 that it happened. General Fred, yeah, I play lots of Hearts of Iron 4. Actually, we played a multiplayer this morning that just went live on my gaming channel. I do know Mark Felton projections. All right, let's dive into another one here. World War I, the Germans disguised one of their ships as a British ship, the RMS Carmania, and sent it out to ambush British vessels. In a hilariously bad stroke of luck, the first ship it encountered was the real RMS Carmania, which promptly sank them. The British, seeing the ship there on attacking them, visible confusion. Interesting. Oh, it's after sunset there. You're right. I'm thinking it's the middle of the day here in the U.S. You're right. It is after sunset in Israel already. Yeah, a lot of people in other countries can speak multiple languages, which kind of puts us as Americans to shame because sadly very few Americans can. Do I play Total War? Yes. Not too much on the channel, but I do play it on my own. I love the New Order as a mod. It's a great mod. We're gonna skip down a few here. Let's see. Build crappy bombers, the Soviet Union. Although outnumbered, use your bombers to bomb iconic locations and exploit your enemy's compulsive behavior, is the British. Build bombers that fly so high it's almost impossible for the enemy to shoot them down, the U.S. Japan, any plane is a bomber if the pilot is brave enough. Wow. James Polk, he wasn't a bad president, really. I mean, he took a lot of territory as president. Is it Passover now? Oh, I guess it is, because Easter's coming up in a week for we Christians. I have played the New Order mod on Hearts of Iron 4. Another Sherman meme. Sherman in Europe can't even penetrate a tiger. Sherman in... we're talking about tanks in the Pacific. I am fluent in over 6 million forms. Nice. I disappeared. Oh, my camera went out. Okay, hold on. I can fix that. I will return, guys. Don't worry. You can still hear me. I'm not sure why that happened. I use my phone as my camera, and occasionally the control kind of gets screwed up. So I'm fixing it now. Hold on, I'll be right back. Let's see. I just gotta reopen my mod or my my app here. There we go. Y'all can stop telling me the camera's dead. I'm aware. Hey, somebody is in Hungary. That's cool. All right, we should be good now. All right, yes, I watched the NFL. It wasn't a Windows error. Well, it was a Windows error. It was the disconnection of my phone that made that issue. So there we go. Having no stream without issues since day one. It's funny because I never had streaming issues before I moved my computer up to the loft. And now I have much better lighting and a much quieter area, but I keep having issues for some reason with the streams. I don't know what's going on. But we're good here. Sire, the peasants are revolting. All right, let's see. Where are we at? Come to the trenches. We have silly string, party wagons, fun puzzles, and spicy air. I like that one. That one's pretty good. I do watch the NFL. I'm a Cleveland Browns fan. Rexus, how's it going? The Return of the King. What countries have I been to in Europe? 0. Hoping to change that this summer. So I'll tell you the complete list of all the countries I've been to. It's not a very long list. I've been to 48 or 47 of the 50 states in the United States. Only three I haven't been to are Louisiana, Rhode Island, and Utah. Hopefully I'll change that soon. Also, as far as countries go, I've been to Canada, the United States, obviously, the Bahamas, Mexico, Costa Rica, Honduras, and Belize. That's my whole list. Are there any Abe Lincoln conspiracy theories, I believe? No, not really. I think everything's pretty legit with that. James Dean, how's it going? Yeah, my camera was off. It was my phone disconnected for some reason. I don't know why. I think the app crashed on the phone that I use. I use my phone as my camera because it's a way better picture than my webcam is. Real fact, number 1470, of the 193 member nations of the United Nations, Britain has invaded 171 of them. That sounds pretty accurate. Pretty accurate. I can't argue with that. Oh yeah, Lord on hold, I do. We actually haven't been on a family vacation in 5 years. Financially, just been really tight with money. And then of course COVID happened. So that hurt us there. And we moved to a new house in 2018. And it took us 2 years to sell the old one. So all of those were factors why we haven't had a vacation for a while. But yeah, this year for sure. Phil Lee, 100% we're doing that because my wife's grandfather was stationed in Kimbolton, which is really close to where that air museum is. So we want to go to Kimbolton to see where his base was, and we're going to go to the Air Museum in Duxford. Actually, the plan is that'll be our last full day in the UK before we fly home from London the next day. Do I believe any JFK conspiracies? Not really. I believe Oswald did it. I believe it's possible that there were people who helped him do it, but I definitely believe he did it. The pings, yellow HD, has a hidden message, but I can see it. That's because we have this chat going from our Hearts of Iron game that we played this morning. And so, and that's only probably in the last hour, that number. All right, let's skip down to some more here. You guys that submit this constant stream, Adrian, of Bosnian and Croatian memes that I don't get, I just don't get them. So, Sherman tank exists, all allied countries. I'll take your entire stock. What's my favorite Hearts of Iron 4 mod? Black Ice. Great War would probably be second after Black Ice. Yes, I have a green screen. That's what's behind me right now. It's hanging from the ceiling. What's my favorite state of the U.S.? Ohio, the one I live in. Dark Phoenix, nice. You've been to way more than I have in terms of countries. Phil Lee, yeah, I know that's where Kim Bolton flew from, because my wife's grandfather was in the 379th Bomb Group, which was the same bomb group as Ye Olde Pub. So they all flew. That's actually how I figured out that Ye Olde Pub was from the 379th, because I was watching a video about them and I saw the K on the tail, which I knew was the same tail insignia that my wife's grandfather's plane flew. So that's kind of how I figured that out. He was a ball turret gunner out of Kim Bolton from the 379th. Insane is keying me out as he goes. All right, let's see here. French tank approaching the front line, 1917 colorized. It's a baguette. Nice. What's one Asian country I would like to visit? Ooh, China. Yeah, I think China. Japan, too. Do I think the assassination of Patton was an inside job? No, but I can understand why people think that. Maryland has a cool flag, but I hate the Ravens, and they have that flag on their logo, so no. Who was the best monarch when the medieval age was on the decline? I don't know if this counts within what you're saying with the medieval age on the decline, but I got to go with Edward III as my favorite monarch from that time period. Nice, Drew Pammon. Good for you. Lots of travel in there. Sire of the Peasants took over Ohio. Who would win? German soldiers who have held this trench for months. A parallelogram-shaped metal boy. Nice. How old am I? Since I'm kind of like a geek, I am 43. I live in Northeast Ohio, for those that were asking where in Ohio. I would love to visit Israel. Israel and Egypt both would be fantastic. Would love to get the chance to do that. Have I visited U505 in Chicago? No, I've been to Chicago a few times, but I've never been downtown, and I haven't really visited a whole lot there. Well, it makes sense. The real baby Jesus that Spanish flu is not very known in Spain and called the Spanish flu because it didn't originate in Spain. It originated in Kansas in the United States. So, have I heard coat of arms from Sabaton? I have not. Your dad got COVID? Oh, I hope he's okay. I hope he recovers. My grandma got it. She's in a nursing home. She almost died, but she survived. Where did I go to college? 2 places. Teal College in northwest Pennsylvania, and then Ohio Christian University. Discovers gold on Mars. Spanish. I like that. That's good. If I were stuck on a desert island with 2 historical generals, which 2 would I choose? Grant and Patton. I know, a little American focused, but those would be my 2 for sure. Which state should you visit if you come to the U.S.? Virginia. It's got a little bit of everything. A ton of history. And a lot of cool stuff to see. Mountains, rivers. So it's kind of got a good mix of everything. If you want natural beauty, go out west. Northern California, Arizona, Montana, Alaska are all gorgeous. Do I play EU4? Yes, I do. Reject modernity, embrace tradition. Hey, speaking of this, have you guys seen what's going on with the Suez Canal with that ship that's sideways and stuck and costing the world's economy billions of dollars a day? That's crazy. Henry VIII's wife gives birth to a girl. Henry VIII, your free trial of living has ended. Which is ironic because when he finally did get the son, the legitimate son, that wife died. So, love to meet the older Moltke. Very cool. What's my favorite time in history? The American Civil War and British medieval history, specifically the Wars of the Roses. Very fascinating. Of course, that's a civil war too. So, my favorite Sabaton song, I have 2. And they both take place, they're both about events taking place at the exact same time. The Lost Battalion and 82nd All the Way are my 2 favorites so far. Red Baron's really good, though, too. I think that might be my 3rd favorite. Do I have a Discord? Yeah, links in the description. That's what you can see here is a bunch of links. This is my Discord right here, the History Guy Gaming and Blogging Through History. Do I recommend Ohio? I recommend Ohio. Where would the country or the world be without Ohio? We had the 3 highest ranking generals to come out of the American Civil War. We've had more presidents than any other state in America. We had the first man on the moon. We had the guy who invented the brothers who got credit for inventing flight. The first American to orbit the Earth. We have Thomas Edison. Not that he necessarily did anything more than steal from other people. But yeah, we've done all right for ourselves. Oh man, this is brutal here. Nazis beating up on Poland, the Warsaw uprising, the Red Army taking pictures of it. Not funny, but super accurate. Do I know anything about Belgian history? Just a little bit, really. Not a whole lot. Who is better, Lincoln or Washington? Lincoln. Different reasons. What made Lincoln such a good wrestler? He had really long arms. He was taller than almost everybody he met. I think those are the main things. Without Ohio, there would be no 7 Years' War. Yeah, Ohio didn't exist yet, so you can't blame us for that. I have not been to Germany. I haven't been to Europe yet, but I'm hoping to change that very soon. Where would the Electoral College be without Ohio? Oh, man. All right, let's see. Dying from gunshot wounds in the stomach and groin during the Second Boer War. Dying from 2 gunshot wounds to the face in Africa during World War One. Dying from gunshot wounds to his hands in the Western Front. Dying from gunshot wounds to the ankle and skull at the Battle of the Somme. Dying from gunshot wounds to the hip, leg, or ear during the rest of the war. Dying from a plane crash in Poland or POW camps. Dying from your own plane being shot down over the Mediterranean or in Italian POW camps. Dying peacefully in his sleep in the Irish countryside at the age of 83. I have no idea who that is. Somebody help me out here with that one. One fact about me. I am 50% deaf in my right ear. I have very little hearing in that ear. There you go. And I've never met my father, but my wife has. That's one bit of trivia I like to throw around. My wife has met my father and I never have. So that's kind of a crazy fact that I'm guessing very, very few people in the world can say. What's the first thing that I think about with the Netherlands? I don't know. I think of lots of things being legal there. I don't know. And that might just be a false impression that I have, but I feel like a lot more things are legal there than are here in the U.S. Didn't Belgians invent French toast? So that's kind of awesome. Who's my favorite Roman emperor? I think I don't know if I have a favorite, but Caesar's always been the one, and he's not really an emperor, I guess. So let's go more of a real emperor. I'm Marcus Aurelius kind of guy, I guess. I'm getting a lot of questions, so I'm not going to be able to answer every single one of them. Absolutely. The plan is to visit after we go to the UK, hopefully this summer. The next trip is going to be France, Belgium, the Netherlands, Western Germany. And that will definitely include Ypres. It'll include most of the major battlefields of World War One. It's going to include Waterloo, a lot of the Western Front battles of World War Two. That's all in the plans. Rome or Greece? Rome. Germany. Oh, so this is a Game of Thrones meme here. Germany after seeing an Austrian painter after World War One. You'll be der Führer. All right. Nero was fire. Quite literally, Sebastian. Yes. I think Diocletian was a decent emperor. Who's my favorite Holy Roman Emperor? Charles V. Man, that dude had an epic chin that didn't quit. Best general in history is impossible to say because you can't compare eras. Welcome to France, we surrender. Now, listen. That's a fair thing to hit them with for World War II. But other than that, well, and you know what, for that matter, the Franco-Prussian War too. Okay, I get why they've earned that aura about themselves, but they did pretty well for themselves in World War One. Not gonna lie, they were impressive in World War One. History books I would recommend if you like World War One. A World Undone is fantastic, and I've been watching the World Undone or the Great War week by week series with Indy Neidell, and he quotes A World Undone constantly in that series. It's a great book. It's the best one about World War One that I've ever done. It's super long but worth it. Team of Rivals about Lincoln's very good. Ron Chernow's biographies of Hamilton and Grant are fantastic. Grant's autobiography is fantastic. D-Day by Ambrose is very good. Stephen Ambrose. So is Band of Brothers. Let's see. Bigger assassination, Caesar or Gandhi? Caesar. I think that had a greater impact on history and on what was going on in the world than Gandhi's did. Me and Mr. Terry should do a collaboration. Yeah, I think it'll probably happen at some point. He has been showing up in some of my streams. I've been showing up in some of his. So we're well aware of each other. I think we're subscribed to each other. I would imagine that'll probably happen at some point. We just got to find a good idea to make that happen. But I can definitely see that happening. That would be a lot of fun. I would love to collaborate with Mr. Terry sometime. He's a great guy. I highly recommend his channel. 10K and not a single beep. Must be my lucky day. Oh, the battery was just dead. Oh, not cool. Not cool at all. Oh, here's a Grant meme. Nice bayonet charge, losers. U.S. Grant. U.S. Grant's one of my favorite people in history. I have such an incredible respect for him after going through not only the biography by Chernow about him, but also Grant's autobiography. I think he was a fantastic human being. You know, some people in history are great men of history, but lousy human beings. Some people are not very good in history. Like, I don't think that Jimmy Carter was a great president for the U.S., but he is a phenomenal human being. He is an outstanding guy, like one of my favorite people in the world. Some people are like that. Grant did some great things in history and was also a phenomenal human being. So he's kind of got both going for him, and there's not many like that. Muhib Susi, no, I am not a teacher. I did go to college to be a history teacher, but I've never actually worked as a history teacher. I subbed a few times, but that's been about it. I'm actually a speaker for an organization called Rachel's Challenge. I work for the family of one of the victims of the Columbine shooting, and we travel around the country speaking in schools, promoting kindness and compassion, and just encouraging kids just to treat each other better. And of course, I haven't done any events for a year. My last event was in March of 2020 in Boston, right before COVID hit. In fact, COVID hit while I was in Boston. So I haven't traveled for that since. Let's see. Catching up on chat here. What's my only wish? My main wish, and this is kind of selfish for me, but as a dad, I want my kids to be healthy and have good lives. That's really it. I mean, if you're a parent, you get that. Your greatest fear is something happening to one of your kids, and your greatest hope is that your kids do well and have great lives and things work out well for them. If that happens, I'll be happy. I don't care what happens for me. So, Athens or Sparta? Sparta. Will I visit Auschwitz? I very much want to visit Auschwitz. And also Auschwitz. I want to visit there as well. Liquid Royale on my Discord server, which there's a link in the description. If you go to History Guy Gaming /vlogging through history, you'll see under suggestion box, there's a history meme submission. And that's where all of these are. How Hitler came to join the Nazis in a nutshell. Agent Hitler, FBI. Oh, man. That's actually pretty accurate, because what happened is that Hitler was sent by the army to spy on the German Workers' Party, which was the precursor of the National Socialist Party that became we call the Nazis. And he was sent to spy on them. He liked what they were doing and started speaking for them and became part of it. So, pierogies, my wife loves them, but I don't. Are my kids interested in history? My daughter is. My son's not so much. In fact, my daughter in English class, they just told her she has to write an essay on a historic topic, and she chose the Attack of the Dead Men. So I thought that was pretty awesome. What historical event, if changed, would cancel the modern wars in Africa? Ooh, maybe if the Napoleonic Wars came out differently, because I think kind of the aftermath of that was when everybody started colonizing in Africa. I could be wrong about that. It's my opinion of Rommel. Good general. I think certainly not completely innocent of what was happening in Germany, but probably more so. One of the few people in Germany, I think, that is still kind of viewed as someone that people can look up to. I could be wrong. Maybe my German viewers can speak to that, but I know by and large in Germany things are kind of hush-hush about World War II, but it seems like Rommel is still at least able to be acknowledged a little bit. Yeah, I will be checking out some of Simple History's videos. Let's see how we're at on subs. Let's take a look at subscribers here. So 48,693. Very soon going to get to 50,000. Can't wait to do that, to be able to say that. The future of my country? I'm not real optimistic. I think we're headed to a breakup, a civil war, something like that. maybe not in my lifetime, but eventually very soon, unfortunately. Hey, gaming dweebs, hello. You had a great-grandfather in World War II and D-Day. Awesome. Great Britain, Nazi Germany, USA. What is this? Stalin execute order 227. Wow. Man is refusing to stand when the fascists have taken over Germany. Interesting. What do I think of Guderian? I think Guderian was a solid general. I don't know much about his books. Don't be a sub chaser. Is there really a point to having a YouTube channel if you don't want it to grow? I don't know. It seems a little weird to me. Am I on a Rickroll server? No. Don't tread on me. Listen, let me tell you a little bit about my life. If you're feeling down because your father was arrested and your mother left, I've never met my father. I found out who he was because of an ancestry DNA test about 10 years ago. I talked to him once on the phone just for him to tell me he wanted nothing to do with me. My mother, when I was 8 years old, I woke up one morning and she was gone. Just gone. I woke up in the back of a police car and they were taking me to live with my grandparents. Didn't see my mom again until I was 17. I am 43 years old, and in the last 20 years, I have seen my mom exactly twice. I've been there. I know what that's like. You can't control what you can't control. All you do is you make the best of your own life. My father being a jerk and my mom not being in my life are things I can't control. But I can control who I am. I can control being the best dad to my kids so that they never have to know what it's like to not have their dad and mom around. I can be the best human being that I can be and help the people around me, be a kind person, treat people well, even if they think differently than me, even if they look different than me, even if they don't like me, I can still be kind to them. Those are things I can control. And the other stuff, I just don't worry about. I get how that feels. I really do. Yeah, James Dean, you're right. Sub chasing is literally just having a YouTube channel and making content for it. And I don't think I do too much sub chasing. I had 1,000 subscribers in December, so I feel like the channel's doing all right on its own. I'll let the content speak for itself. If people like it, great. If they don't, that's fine too. Who would win, a suicide dog or a Russian tank? I feel like I'd have to go with the Russian tank, but I don't know. Time travel to which time? Oh, wow. Let's see. I think probably the Civil War, just because I'd like to meet some of those people that I've learned so much about and get to know them a little bit. Just catching up on the chat here a little bit. What do I think about Fidel Castro? I don't know. I mean, it seemed, at least from the outside looking in, as an American, that it seemed like the country was not doing too well under him. Maybe I'm wrong about that. But I didn't get the impression that he was doing well for his people. So I don't know. How many presidents am I related to? Probably most of them, as are everybody else in America. That's just the reality. If you do enough research, you can probably find connections to most of them. Bush and Obama are the two I'm most closely related to that I'm aware of. What historical figure would I recommend you learn about? It depends on what you're into. Honestly, I mean, there's so many. The entire world. How are you not dead? Israel after war. Every war. I have no idea. A lot of support. That's why. 1938, France held the World Cup. 1939, Australia brush fire. 1940, cancellation of Tokyo Olympics. 41, Japan attacked Pearl Harbor. 2018, France won the World Cup. 2019, Australia brush fire. 2020, cancellation of Tokyo Olympics. I don't like where this is going. Me neither. Vinny, I think I already answered that one about where I'd time travel to. Will I visit the Netherlands? Absolutely. Insane, who's one of the mods on our Discord and on this stream, is in the Netherlands. He lives right on the border of Netherlands and Belgium, and I very much hoping to connect with him when I'm over there. Random German guy, yeah. No, last meme stream we actually were pushing 300 then too. I think it's been pretty big the last few times. Thomas's grumpier German cousin, Gustav the Railway Gun. Wow, that's fantastic. How am I related to Bush and Obama? I'm actually ninth cousins to Bush and Obama through the same ancestor that all three of us descend from. Why General George S. Patton defeated the wrong, said American defeated the wrong enemy? Because he knew what I think everybody knew by that point, which was that the Soviet Union was going to be our enemy when the war was over. Watching the stream while your parents are listening to Sabaton. Nice. You live in Belgium too? So listen, let me say this about my travels. And that goes for domestic travel here in the U.S., but also overseas. Whenever I'm going to be taking a trip and going to specific historic sites, I will let you guys know, not only on Discord, but I will post on YouTube. So make sure you have your notifications turned on. If you turn on your notifications when you subscribe, I will post and let you guys know where I'm going to be and when. So if you want to connect with me on a battlefield at a historic site and be a part of making videos, then you can do that. So like when I do get to travel to Europe, I'll let you guys know when I'm going to be at Waterloo, when I'm going to be at Nijmegen, when I'm going to be at the Somme. Next month, I'm going to, or actually in May, I'm going to Chickamauga, Chattanooga, Toccoa, Georgia, probably Andersonville. So I'll let you people know in the South when I'm doing that. So if you want to connect with me, you can. I would love to meet some of the viewers in person and tour the battlefields together. I think that'd be a lot of fun. Yeah, thank you, Random German Guy, for reminding everybody of that. Yes, Patton was incredibly racist. That is absolutely 100% right. I think we have other Central Eastern Europeans here. We get a lot of them on Discord. All right, let's take a look at the next one here. Is that Bismarck? Looks like Bismarck. Me, I promise I won't get all political. 3 drinks later, I must unite Germany under one flag. Nice. New Zealand or Australia would be fantastic. New Zealand looks absolutely gorgeous. I have a friend who lives on the Gold Coast in Australia. She's actually one of my fellow speakers with Rachel's Challenge. She moved to Australia on the Gold Coast. I'm out of Mountain Dew, so I'm going to have to end the stream before too long. It's only been 47 minutes, though. What do I think of Georgy Zhukov? Fantastic general, probably the best one the Soviets had during the war. Certainly one of the best on the Allied side. What would I do if I ever met an ex-president? I'd be very cordial. I'd be very civil. I'd be very friendly. I think it would be exciting, no matter whether they were somebody I voted for or not. I think it's a privilege to meet someone like that. Even people I don't necessarily like or agree with. How many countries have I visited? Let's see. Canada, Belize, Mexico, Honduras, Costa Rica, the Bahamas. 6. I'm going to be in Georgia and Tennessee in May. Would love to visit Sweden sometime. I've been to Pearl Harbor, but it was long ago before I made videos. And this is Mountain Dew Zero. But now I was at Pearl Harbor. My wife and I went to Hawaii for our honeymoon in 2002. So we went to Pearl Harbor then. Gaming dweebs, don't spam. You're going to get your posts deleted. That is not a good way to get me to see something. What year is it? It's 1918. We just won the Great War. You mean World War I? American soldier. Say psych right now. Wow. Yeah. I would love to go to Sarajevo someday. Actually, my wife and I were just looking at someday we would like to do a river cruise on the Danube River. Now, that wouldn't take us to Sarajevo, but it goes Germany, Austria, and Hungary. And I think a little bit of Slovakia. So that would kind of take us in that general area. But how many U.S. presidents have I ever seen live? Only one, George W. Bush. Only one I've seen live. Favorite show or movie from a historic perspective? Band of Brothers, without a doubt. Not even close. Ruben, Aachen's one of the places I want to visit because I want to visit the cathedral where Charlemagne is buried. And when I'm already planning my Western Europe trip, which the GoFundMe, there's a link in the description for the GoFundMe, the mod setup. So if you choose to donate to the channel, I'd prefer you did it through the GoFundMe because that's going to go to that European trip that's going to include all the Western European battlefields, and Aachen is on the list of places I'm going to go. Don't tread on me. I appreciate that. Thank you. Would I visit North Korea? No, not right now. I too unsafe, I think. All right, let's take a look at another one here. Is that Shrek with Stalin's face? Or is that Saddam Hussein? I can't really tell. Adrian with another Croatian meme that I won't understand. For sale, French World War II rifle, never fired, dropped once. Wow. Harsh. Thank you, Zach. Appreciate that, sir, as always. How are things in Houston right now? My throat's getting sore. I think we'll probably end this one in an hour, so probably another 10 minutes or so. Favorite U.S. vice president? A lot of my favorite vice presidents became president. Wow. Gotta think about that one a little bit. I don't know if I have one. How do I feel about John Brown? A little on the crazy side. Noble intentions, but too much crazy mixed in, I'm afraid. Do you know his family used to live next door to the Grant family in Ohio for a while? Northeast Ohio, I think, actually. What's this here? When you spend centuries fighting each other and then realize the Jews now own Jerusalem. That's awesome. Yes. Christians and Muslims sitting next to each other. Favorite Asian historical figure? Does Genghis Khan count? He's really fascinating to me. Stream World of Warships sometime. I played World of Warships a few times, mostly because I wanted to be able to control the USS Wyoming because my great-grandfather was on the Wyoming. Favorite U.S. president quote or speech? I have a couple. Washington's farewell speech was fantastic. Abraham Lincoln's second inaugural is probably my other favorite presidential speech. In my lifetime, there are two that stand out to me that I thought were very good. Ronald Reagan's address to the nation the night that the Challenger exploded. I was a kid. Most American kids watched that launch live on television because there was a teacher on board and it was this big deal. And so they gathered everybody in the auditorium to watch on the TV, and it exploded in front of, millions of American kids watching live on TV. And so that was part of what Ronald Reagan did in that address, was to talk to American kids. And I thought, to this day, that's the best presidential speech I've ever seen live on TV. Was that one. I just thought it was so good. And then the other moment for me that I will always remember that I just love is George W. Bush at Ground Zero after 9/11, when he, off the cuff, said to the firefighters and all the people gathered there, he said, "I hear you, the rest of the world hears you, and the people who knock these buildings down will hear all of us soon." Now, I'm not getting political, and that's not a endorsement of everything that happened after that in George W. Bush's presidency. But I think for that moment, for how we Americans were feeling after 9/11, it felt really good. So those are the two for me. What would I want to be my last words? See you soon. Yeah. Because I would guess it's my family around me, and I believe very much that death is not the end. So that's what it would be. It would be, hey, I'll see you soon. It's not goodbye. It's just so long for now. That's how I feel. That's what I believe. I know it's what my family believes. So I think that would be good. The infamy speech of FDR is very good. Yesterday, December 7th, 1941, a date which will live in infamy. The United States of America was suddenly and deliberately attacked by naval and air forces of the Empire of Japan. Yeah, great speech. Cressy would be a fantastic battlefield to visit. I don't really know much about Georgian kings, unfortunately. United 93 Memorial is about 2 hours from me, and I was there when they were first building it. Haven't been back since. In fact, I've got some videos somewhere when I visited there, and there wasn't even a memorial yet. They just had a building set up with a bunch of stuff hung on the walls because they hadn't even built anything. I was in Washington, D.C. a week after 9/11. There was still smoke rising from the Pentagon when I was there. It was a pre-planned trip that I took anyway. Hey, in Lithuania, Lucas, very cool. Welcome. Juan, thank you. Simon Bolivar, yes. A couple of people have suggested that to me. I would definitely love to get into some South American history. It's a part of history I don't know nearly enough about, and I think there's a lot I could learn there. So definitely. Do I know something about the history of Transcarpathia region? Not really. I don't know nearly enough about Eastern European. Northeast U.S. gaming dweebs. I was in Maine and Massachusetts last year, and I loved it. And I would love to go back someday. Rhode Island's one of the only states I haven't been to yet. Oh, I know Georgia has a lot of fantastic history. A rare Christian nation in the midst of a lot of non-Christian nations. Burning Soldier, welcome. I'm glad you're here. With malice toward none and charity for all, with firmness in the right as God gives us to see the right, let us strive forward, I think, to continue the work in which we are in, to bind the nation's wounds, to care for him who shall have borne the burden, and for his widow and for his orphan, and to achieve for ourselves a just and lasting peace among ourselves and with all nations. I love Lincoln's second inaugural. I think it's better than the Gettysburg Address. When you go to Lincoln, the Lincoln Memorial in Washington, they have the Gettysburg Address on one side and the second inaugural on the other. And I think those are both some of the greatest speeches ever given in American history. Do I know the musical Hamilton? I did an entire stream about that on this channel back before anybody knew about this channel, back when I had 300 subscribers. But it's still on the channel. If you just do a search for Hamilton Vlogging Through History, you'll find it. It was like a 2-hour stream where I talked through the entire musical and the history of Hamilton's life based on the musical. I've been to Washington State, yes, a couple of times. Okay, I appreciate that. I hope I get to 10 million subs. I'm the political leader of a country that must fight a defensive war. What general would you choose to run your military? A defensive war. Ooh. George Thomas. I know that's not what you expect to hear, but George Thomas was a phenomenal defensive fighter for the Americans. One of the best defensive warriors we've had. I wouldn't choose someone like Patton or Eisenhower because I think they'd want to be too aggressive and go on the offensive. Same with Napoleon. Same with Zhukov. I don't know. What do you guys think about that? Worst strategic error in history. Wow, there's so many to choose from. Gosh. I'd have to think about that a little bit. I don't really know off the top of my head. Have I been to Wisconsin? Yes, I liked Wisconsin. I spoke in Manitowoc, Two Rivers High School outside of Green Bay. It was very cool there. The Rock of Chickamauga, that's right. I'm going to be at Chickamauga in May. All right, let's do a couple more memes here. I'm going to skip ahead a bit. To show the power of flex tape, I cut Pickett's division in half. Wow, that's a 12-pound Napoleon. Must be firing canister fire. Very cool. Offense is the best defense, and a lot of people feel that way. A lot of generals had that. McClellan, I don't know. Maybe he'd do all right defensively. Do I know much of Ireland's history? Not as much as I should, but I do know some. Great Northern War, yeah, we'll get to that in extra credits. I get a lot of people requesting that one. What's my favorite U.S. city and why? Ooh, I like Indianapolis a lot. I like Nashville. Let me think about what else. New York City's not bad. I don't like driving in Boston. Boston traffic and LA traffic are horrible. Eastern and Western philosophers, will definitely get to that one. Have I been to Michigan? Yeah, I spoke at a school in Grand Rapids a couple years ago. Have I been to the state above you? Yeah, actually, believe it or not, that was the first time. I had been to 40 states before I was ever in Michigan, which is only 2.5 hours away from me. Worst monarchy of Europe. Ooh, wow. I don't know if there's a worst one. A lot of questions. I'm going to probably have to start wrapping up the questions because I'll never get to all of them. We're going to be wrapping up here in a few minutes. The population of the Soviet Union. Why can't you just feed us? Screams and sends a dog to space. Wow. So true. And the dog died. People forget that part. They had no plans to bring the dog back alive. Instead of running away, you're coming right at me. It's Bismarck. I can't beat you without getting closer. Nice. Auschwitz-Birkenau temporarily closed. Ooh, ouch. I'll just skip on by that one. Wilhelm I, Otto von Bismarck. If you forgot, then it wasn't important. Wilhelm I. Yeah, you're right. Austria. Nice. Have I been to New Hampshire? Yes, I have. I visited Franklin Pierce's grave when I was in New Hampshire. Minnesota's nice. I like Minnesota. Best monarchy of all time. I got to go with the British. I like the British. I got a soft spot in my heart for the British. UK is my second favorite country after my own. Where was the atom first split? I'm actually not sure. Yishin's another one. Yishin Sun Shin's another one I get a lot of requests for. All right, I'm going to wrap it up, guys. It's been a long day. I recorded for 2 hours this morning. I have a video going live, a reaction video, as soon as this stream's over. But thank you guys so much for joining. Please subscribe if you haven't already. Join us over on Discord. There's a lot going on, even when we're not doing videos. So I'll see you again soon. I'll schedule some more streams in the very near future. But thank you guys for watching. We'll see you again soon.